podcasts. You know, you don't have to go anywhere. You could just be wherever
sit on
you
that
want.
couch and chill.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly it. So
we can record. You're not even wearing pants.
You don't know that. That's the illusion. You don't know. Who knows? So that's the thing.
Whole bunch of business meetings. Nobody's wearing pants.
I just got the business sweater on, and that's all.
I love it. What is with this like hairdo and this beard now? This is like, holy moly, like living in Siberia or something.
You know what it is? It started off as, you know what? No, the barbers are closed, so I'm just like, whatever. Not gonna cut my hair. But then a lot of people started liking it. A lot of people started liking the hairdo and the beard. So I just kept it. I actually shaved the beard and grew the mustache a bit. But I do it in weird times.
The porn stash going for a while.
But I do it in weird times. I don't even
Ergys Jeffrey.
Ergys Jeremy. But I don't even do it for November. The whole month of November, I had the beard. I didn't even do the mustache. I just did the beard. I do the stash in like some weird times. I'll do it like in spring. Like, oh, I got the stash going on. I just feel it some days, but yeah. So, but I'm going to keep growing this beard for now and go from there. So
no, I love it. It looks good. It does look good. So Ergys, I do want to thank you very much for jumping on. I know we are taking you away from the Steelers game, which is purely on right now. We're going to start in the next 5 minutes.
I don't even have the TV on because I know if I have that TV on right now, this podcast would just go to shits and I would just be focused.
I think you should put on the Steelers game. I think we can multitask. I think it'll be great.
No, you don't want to hear me. I'll be cussing and swearing and
you'll be doing like some running commentary on it. It'll be great.
And things will be flying and I'll just be going left, right, and center.
The Steelers suck that bad?
No, they're actually good. They're 11-1.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
I just become very critical, and they've this season they've been giving us like heart attacks every game, even when they shouldn't. They're just like they had a close game against the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys are horrible this year, and we're having like a competitive 1-1 game against the 2-7 Dallas Cowboys. So that's what's frustrating.
But you lost to Washington, for fuck's sakes.
To the football, exactly. To a team that doesn't even have a name. Now you know, like
just knows Washington.
That's what I mean.
We lost to the Washington beep.
Exactly. Can't even say the name of the football team. We lost to the football team.
How did you end up like the Steelers? Like, how did that end up becoming your team?
You know what's weird? It was actually I was like I want to say 11-12. I became a fan around their championship run, the 2008 championship run when they beat Arizona.
Yeah.
My buddy goes like, "You're gonna like this team." So I watched that season, and I just loved them. I don't know what it was. I just liked the Steelers, and from then on, I just was a Steelers fan. A lot of disappointing seasons, you know, but they still with them, you know. And the best is I'll get some of these people in their like 40s or like 30s will talk to me and be like, "Oh, you were a fan. You're just a bandwagon. I was a fan when they were 12 years old." It's like, well, I'm 23 years old, so you know what I mean.
Cut me a break.
Like I started at 11. Give me my slack here. I didn't know what was going on, you know. So.
Still like picking your nose at 11, becoming a Steelers fan.
That's it. You know, that's how it happened. A buddy told me, go watch them. And I'm just like, okay. And what's funny is I don't even talk to that guy anymore. But I'm still a Steelers fan. So
there you go. Big Ben, Mike Tomlin, the whole deal. Rocking.
The whole deal. Yeah. Frustrating. Big Ben frustrates me at times, but the whole deal. I mean, every time that guy gets hit, I get worried because that dude's just injury prone to the max now. So
he's had a lot of miles on him.
Oh, that's an understatement. That dude's wear and tear all over the place because it's just bad. And even when he say the worst is now after his elbow surgery, you'll start rubbing his elbow And it's just like, can you just like go easy on that, please? Like, holy, like, calm down there, man. Like,
it's a multi-million-dollar arm. You don't want to rub that thing out. What are you doing?
Every time he throws those Hail Marys, he'll start rubbing his elbow, and it's just like, well, don't throw those 80-yard like long passes. Just take it easy now. Do the short passes. Play the old man game here. So
it reminds me of watching like Peyton Manning, like after he had like neck surgery and everything. Like every time he got hit, you're just like, oh, jeez.
Oh yeah.
Because like he had like some major surgery and then he was on the decline from then. But at least he retired.
He still won a Super Bowl. He still won a Super Bowl and was in like counting the Super Bowl. So it's like you got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
You know. So he had a smart style though.
Oh yeah. But like, didn't he win the Super Bowl after he had like neck fusion surgery too?
He had a neck fusion and then won.
His team carried him though. Like he didn't do much on that. His team, that was all his team. Like the one time like what he was still really good was when they faced the Seahawks and it got blown out when he was with the Broncos. Like he was still good then, but then when he won the Super Bowl, he was done by then, and he knew it too. That's why he retired. He's like, I'm out.
He retired that season, right?
He retired like the next day. He was like, mic drop, boom, I'm out. It's not going to get better than this.
I'm not even going to try. But it's smart though. Some people will try. They'll be like, let me go for it. It's like, well, that was it, buddy. That was your last year right there. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what though? Like, have you been to Pittsburgh? Have you gone to see a couple Pittsburgh games or?
No, that's actually something I want to do. And I made a pact to myself that I will not watch any live football game unless it's at a Steelers first. So I got to go to I want to go to Pittsburgh before anything, before I watch any other, like people have told me, come to Buffalo, watch it in Buffalo. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I want to watch it in Pittsburgh. Like that would be my first game.
I've been to Buffalo. I'll give you Aaron, have you been to a Buffalo Bills game?
I have. You know what? That is a different breed of people, man.
Is inbred a breed?
That's the thing. They're crazy, man. I got a friend who's a Buffalo Bills fan, and I'm like, how are it like? What's wrong with your like the people?
What's wrong with your people?
He's like, I don't even know. He goes like, I can't even say anything. I'm like, would you jump through a table? Like, have you thought of that?
A table that's on fire.
I just want to know who thought of that. Like, who thought of, hey, this is a brilliant idea. Let's like mimic Mick Foley and jump through a table just for fun. Let's just do that. Like, I wonder who thought of that. Like, I really do. Like, I want to know whose idea was it. Like, let's just, what would be great? Let's just jump through a burning table to show our passion.
Well, there's a lot of people that, like in the old WWE commercials, don't try this at home. There's a lot of people that have not listened to that to this date.
It does not apply to the Bills fans, that's for sure. And some of them even toss their babies through a table. Like,
oh jeez.
it's a miniature table, but they're like, we're teaching them when they're young. It's like, well, I don't know if that's what you want to teach them.
Aaron, do you have any plans to go to a Bills game and to take your children there? And if you do, will they be going through a table?
No. I've gone to 2 Bills games in my life, and they were both against Miami, which is their like division rival too. And so like they are just like, if you wear a Miami jersey down there and you're at a Bills game, you're fucking stupid, because they will like literally like they try to like just like they are mean people, man. Like they're like,
is Miami even their rivals though, or is it just like
maybe I don't know, like
not because that's a different division though. That's
the right? East. I think it's the A. That's the A. I think they're still in the East. It's
are they still in AFC?
I think so.
I think it's Miami, the Bills, New Patriots, and the Jets.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
So literally, like we were in one row, and there was some Miami guys, like, like in front of us, but then kind of like 5 people down or whatever. And the guys behind them were fucking throwing beer on top of them, like, fuck you guys. And like, they were killing Miami too. It was like, I don't know, like 21-0.
in their defense, and it's not really a good one, but in their defense, we would do the same if there was a Ravens fan at a Steelers game. You know what I mean? Like if we
100%.
If we saw Baltimore, I'm kicking them. I'm like full on drop kicking them, and just I'm not even hesitating.
Can't we all just get along?
No, and what's funny is no, not even close. Not even that team has cost us too much torment. Like we're just not them in the pit. Like not happening. No, and I even have a friend who's a Ravens fan, and when we play each other, we just go after it. We no holds barred. You know what I mean? We just and you know what though? I'm having fun this season because last season was torture. We had no QB. We had nothing. Done. Oh man, and we still managed an 8-8. So this year I'm having fun with it. Is our season a little? Do we get the easy teams? 100%. I'm not even. We so got lucky with the schedule. I'm not even. But I'm still riding with it. We're 11-1. I don't give a crap. I'm taking it. You know what I mean?
I want to know how Cleveland is 9-3. They lose Odell, and they're 9-3, and all of a sudden Baker Mayfield knows how to throw a football. All of a sudden,
and no one's even talking about it. No one's even talking.
It's like Cleveland's good. They have a winning record for the first time in like 50 years.
Yeah, wait. Cleveland's not 6-7 right now. Like, what's going on here? So yeah, it's crazy how Cleveland's a legit team. But that's the thing. I feel like Cleveland though's not bad, but you shut down. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the games. You saying that Baker's the one, but when they faced the Steelers, all they did was shut down that run game, and then Baker was helpless. So. But
fair enough,
man.
One day we'll try to go to like an NFL game together. Maybe we'll go to a Steelers game. I just remember my one memory of going to the bathroom. Like I think it was like in between quarters. I went down. I go to the bathroom. I'm like, where's the stalls? It's just a big trough that you pee in.
Oh yeah, trough.
Nothing else. It's like, okay, where do you go pee? There's like no There's like no toilets. Nothing. It's just a big trough, and you're just like whipping it out, and then you're peeing in a big trough.
Where was this? Was it Pittsburgh or was
Buffalo?
This Buffalo?
No, that's
Ralph Wilson.
Oh, nice. That's good.
But that's not even that bad. So you remember like the old school you water like you like a circle thing where you would like wash your hands, right?
Yeah.
Like and you would step up. Okay, like an old school like water fountain for your hands, right? If the trough
they do that
filled,
for schools.
Yeah, exactly. If the trough was full, people would start pissing in the sink. Like that's how bad it is. Like Buffalo is like, ugh.
That's.
And it was hilarious because like you go like you're all drinking at the tailgate, you have fun, you're doing your thing, and then you get to the line at the actual entrance. You got to throw your beer can into this huge pile of beer cans that are just sitting there.
Because everybody going in is drunk already.
Right? Oh, hammered, and got a piss too, right? And so
in the trough.
And so you walk in, and then there's a guy standing right at the gate with beer, and so you buy beer right off of him for like $2 or whatever.
Oh, that's good.
And then you go in, but then you got to go wait in line at the pisser or pee in the sink. Like it's crazy.
Just do whichever. You know what I'm
Aaron
hearing?
peed in the sink.
That's what he's saying. That's how he's getting to the story. He's like, well, I peed in the sink.
So I'm not going to say who, but there were some people peeing in the sink, and I may or may not have joined.
In Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Hearing the stories, like and just for the sake of the fans, I just like you hope that Buffalo doesn't like win a Super Bowl, just because like there might just be havoc. Like full on havoc with those fans might like legit cause a full on war.
If they cause a full on war, there's not much really to burn down in Buffalo because it's all kind of burned down already.
Fair. The problem is they might come over to Canada. That's the thing. They might just get too excited and just start coming over this way and just like whoa, man.
Go up north. Let's go.
We got the wall already. We're good. We got a wall already built. Got a wall.
Ergys, So obviously, like, if you had not gotten involved in like jiu-jitsu and MMA, you would definitely be like a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, like for life, and traveling, following the schedule. So, for sure, right?
If I didn't get into MMA, wrestling, and all that stuff, I would have probably been pushing over 350 pounds, just sitting in my basement watching football games and talking all the smack. Like, that's no discipline whatsoever, no health discipline, no nothing. I would just be armchair quarterbacking it and talking about everyone. Like, they just, oh, I could do that. I would have so been that guy.
What do you mean? Oh, I can kick that guy's ass.
100%. I would have so been that guy.
Except in your case, you could probably kick their ass.
100%. But still, if hypothetically, if I didn't do MMA, then absolutely I would have been
probably have some problems.
Or I would have gone into football, one of the two. I would have either done the sport or I would have just watched it and talked all the shit. No medium. Just one or the other.
How did you actually get into like wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that? Like, when did you start?
Well, I actually started at 8 years old. My dad brought me to karate. And he gave me the option. It was never forced upon me. It was, you want to try this? Go ahead, try it. You know what I mean? So I was in karate from 8 till I was 13. But around that time, I think I want to say when I was like 10 or 11, I think I watched my first match, Chuck versus Tito.
Like the first time they fought.
The third time, actually. I think.
The third time. Okay.
The trilogy. I think it was like a replay or something, because this was around 08, and I think they fought around 06. But
okay.
And I just loved the sport. I just wanted to get into it. I wanted to do the wrestling. And my dad wrestled too, so he'd show me and my brother some moves. So like I've always wanted to kind of do it. But yeah, so I just fell in love with the sport. My brother did wrestling. I was a year younger than him, so he did his high school wrestling season. I actually, at that time when I was 13, I went to Rev MMA at the time. Was my first gym that I went to, and then from then on, I just loved the sport. I went into wrestling. I did my high school wrestling season, and then I left Rev MMA in my grade 11 year to focus on wrestling. And then in my grade 12 year, that's when I went to Grants and I met Dom and RG and those guys. And then from then on, it just and what's funny is too, though, I actually didn't want to do MMA from the start. I wanted to go into Grants because they had this wrestling coach at the time, Dante was his name. And he was an exceptional wrestler, so I want to learn from him. I actually wanted to go to the Impact Wrestling Club and try my hopes as in like do all that, like the Olympic stuff, like to fully go into freestyle wrestling. Like that was my first goal. But then one of the guys at the front desk, Mampy was his name, he goes like, you got to try MMA. Just try it. I think you do great in MMA. Just, go ahead and try it. Just try one fight. And I did. And that's when I just fell in love with the sport. And for like my first 2 amateur fights, I was also wrestling as well. So I'd have an amateur fight and then I'd do a wrestling tournament like 2 or 3 weeks after. And it'd just be like vice versa like that. And then after that, the rest is history. I did MMA, had my amateur fights, then went pro. And then I stuck and did some, I was with Dom and did some jits as well. And that was pretty much it. With the jits though, at first I was really focusing on my striking because I wanted to get my striking better. As a wrestler, as a guy who grappled and wrestled, you'd want to get your striking better. But then I remember my last amateur fight, I got swept by a white belt, but he wasn't really a white belt. He was like, he did like the white belt world geese and he got like silver. So he was like more of like a blue belt. But in my mind, I'm like, if I'm getting swept by a white belt, I got to fix this right now. So then that's when I started really going into jits and really doing the hops and seminars. And that's when I met like Aaron and all those guys and would train over at Thomas for some open mat a bit and do all that stuff and really try to just make my grappling what it is now and just focus on that and then have everything evolve into my grappling. And then at the time, I didn't know I was going to do worlds and all that, but yeah. So then, and that's where we are here. So,
what are you drinking there?
A root beer.
Oh, root beer.
Yeah. No, I'm not drinking like beer and getting drunk while we're doing the podcast.
Breakfast of champions.
I've done that too, so it's okay. Don't worry.
Aaron's been inebriated several times during this podcast.
Sometimes you gotta get the conversation going.
He's been under the influence of extracurricular substances, and if you want to get some of those extracurricular substances, you want to head down to Spirit Leaf in Waterdown, located at Aaron.
64 Hamilton Street North.
Oh.
They have all your CBD, all your THC needs. You just want to make sure that you're taking them at appropriate times, Ergys. If you are indulging in that, just make sure you don't get popped for anything, as you are likely being drug tested as you're doing some of these fights. But did you know, Ergys, that CBD is it's a great substance. I've been taking some of it recently. It helps with your sleep. It will help with your recovery. So that could be something to look into as well. Or if you just like getting high, you can head on down to Spirit Leaf Waterdown, located at Aaron.
64 Hamilton Street North.
All right, there you go.
Look at that. Thanks for the tip. Now I'm gonna definitely.
You're gonna use promo code CHPodcast10. We have a post out. You're gonna show them that when you check out. It's only in that store.
Now, if I do get popped for something, I am fully blaming you guys. If that ever happens, It is 100% blaming you guys.
If it's something CBD, THC related, you can blame us. If it's anabolic substances, you can clearly blame Aaron.
No, I wouldn't. I get very cautious if I do have a fight. I make sure I don't really take anything that would get me popped. I like to make sure. Because even nowadays too, you see some of these fighters again. They don't even know. Like they'll have the regular protein stuff, and then they'll get popped for the shit that's in there. So you got to be careful nowadays because they're getting everyone. So,
now is that like I want to ask you, is that like an excuse people are making where it's like, oh, like my creatine got spiked and there was tren in it, or is there actually like tainted like substances and supplements that you've seen?
I don't know. That's a touchy subject. You know what I mean? It's very. It depends. You know, like you don't. Some people might, but some people might actually like just be taking a supplement, they think it's good, and then all of a sudden they're getting popped for. So like you don't know, you know what I mean? I don't want to say, oh yeah, they know they're taking it, you know. You just don't know. They could, you know what I mean? But it also, if you look at the protein, and if the protein looks kind of sketchy, I mean, I wouldn't take it. Like I would look at if it looks like it doesn't have the like health approved and all that stuff, and I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't risk it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
that's just
feel what
me,
you're saying.
Yeah, you know. But to be honest, though, I wouldn't say I'm super pro, but like I'm like, if you're gonna take it, take it. But like, if you're gonna ban it altogether. But if you're gonna not ban it, then but don't play this half like, oh, we're gonna test you guys, but then some people could get away with it, and certain things, it's like if you're gonna let them juice to the gills. You know what I mean? If you're not, you're not. You know what I mean?
Pride FC, like back in the day, just like drug testing optional.
Right? Like, you know, and it just let them go. If they want to do it, they want to do it. If they don't, then it's their choice. That's how I look at it. But, you know, I personally, I don't think I'd ever take it. You know what I mean? During the career, I don't know. Never went in my mind of me taking any substance to improve anything. I like doing it all natural. You know what I mean? So that's just how I am. Plus, I just have a very satisfying feeling when an out of shape guy will just beat a guy that looks like Jack to shreds. Like I've had so many people look at me, oh, this guy's not going to do much. And then boom. And it's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So I personally, I don't care for it. I'm not. Some people are pro, some people are against it. I'm whatever. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't, cool. By all means, you know what I mean. That's just how I am with it.
Well, I was gonna say, because I've had the opportunity to roll with you before as well, and the one thing is just bro, your pressure is crazy, and when I see you do put pressure on different guys, and again, you're saying it as yourself. You're yeah, you look like a guy who might not look in shape, but you're putting the hurt on people when you're fighting them. And
it looks like a carpenter who's just rolling onto the mat and it's just buzzsawing people. It's who's this guy? He looks like he's homeless, and then he's just beating. And it's oh, he's got my back and he's choking me.
Yeah, and it just and I think a credit to is just mental. I just feel like a lot of it's just I'm mentally tough, and the competitor in me, just I don't and even want to I don't care. I just want to go and just, you know what I mean? I could be having a full on binge of just drinking the night before, and the next day I'll just put the hurt on people. Be what the hell? And I'm I don't, you know what I mean? I've done that. I've eaten the most ridiculous junk food you can ever think of, and then done 10 rounds of sparring the next day, and they go what the hell? And I'm just I don't know, man. Just I'm young.
Good nutrition.
It's good nutrition.
You
don't want to put vitamin S in your body, but God knows what else you're putting in there.
You know what? That's the thing. But you know what though? I have been strict with my diet when I need to be. I have cut sugar for 2 years. I've done all that. I've been strict. When I was fighting, when I wanted to fight again before the COVID, I had my buddy Adam Asenza, who put me in a meal plan, and we were really strict and diligent about the weight cut, and to the point where I actually was having a good time cutting the weight that I wanted to go to 155. I wanted to try to fight 165, 160, 155. Right now I'm 220, so that's out of the option.
God damn, I thought I gained weight during this thing. I'm 205 right now. I'm normal.
That's not happening. You know what I mean? I'm doing a run once a week. That's you know what I mean? I'm that's not happening. I'm not 155 right now. Is out of the question for sure. But
you're gonna have to cut off a leg to make
for sure. Yeah. But
I was almost I was laughing earlier because Aaron was well, in my experience, I thought he was talking about him taking steroids. I'm like, you look like the last guy who has touched any of that.
No, in my experience.
In my experience of taking TRT, let me tell you guys, wait a minute, what the hell?
Sit down, young kid. Let me show you a thing or two about the substance.
No, I have not taken any TRT lately or anything like that.
Lately.
I love how he says lately. I haven't taken anything. We've been on lockdown. I don't see the use of it. I don't need it. You know what I mean? There's no need for it. So
excellent. So what's the training situation nowadays? Is Grant's open right now, or
no?
Is it kind of on lockdown?
They're fully closed. They were open during the summer, but they're fully closed now. They're a lot of the gyms are fully closed. RG at the time took the mats off because he wanted to. They were old mats, so he just wanted to take them off. But then he's like, there's no point of investing in the new mats now. Let's just focus on the boxing and then go from there. So, and that was pretty much it. We did do some secret training in the summer when it was more open. You know what I mean? When you could when you were allowed to have a little bit more than 10 people. We did some of that, but other than that, I have been going down to Burlington a bit to train with Adam because he's still trying to get ready for a fight. So he's been doing all that stuff. So I've been in his corner for his last 2 fights now. So we've just been staying in shape. Well, he's been staying in shape.
He's been staying in shape. Me, not so much, clearly.
And it just so I've been grappling here and there, not as much as I used to, but still there. I mean, I did put on the gi in the summer, like for the first time in like 4 or 5 months, and I thought I was gonna puke. I'm like, I don't even know what are these grips? You know what I mean? Like, what is this right now? So, I'm gonna stick to my NoGi right now. I'm gonna stick to my bread and butter. But
okay, so like when are you kind of like, do you think you want to get back into any fighting like now, or just like look for fights, or you just kind of like,
you know what,
right now is not the time, can't get the training in?
Yeah, and I've thought about it, because you got a lot of these guys competing at the States. First of all, I can't even go to the States right now because not only is my passport expired, but I lost my Canadian citizenship card. So I kind of gotta like,
you're gonna get shipped out soon. If there's any immigration people watching, hope nobody's listening.
Here we
Ergys has all his papers. He's legal.
No, I am legal. I just gotta renew all of it. I love how I'm saying I'm legal, like I snuck in here or something. Like, I'm legal. Don't worry, guys. I've done this before. This isn't my first rodeo. No, but I've thought about it. But it's just with everything going on, Dom's focusing on his family and doing his stuff. RG's doing his stuff and focusing on his family and how he's, gotta thrive in this weird time. So it's like, for me to be like, I want to get a fight, and I'm not really training as much right now. It wouldn't make sense at this point. For me, I'd rather wait and see in like the next couple months how everything improves, and if everything slowly, I know we won't go back to normal, but if they go to a more relaxed state than this. So I'm not looking for anything right now, any fights or anything. So it's not like I'm thinking about doing that, or any super fights or anything like that. That's nothing I'm trying to do right now, because it's not, for me, it's not the right time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
100%, right?
I think it's probably difficult to even find fights right now. Like I would imagine, like, because it's hard enough finding fights just in general, finding people that will want to match up with you at 155 or 170 or like whatever weight class you are, just in a regular environment.
It's 170. 155 was a dream I thought of.
Wishful thinking.
Before COVID hit, that
dream has been crushed.
Yeah, it's been destroyed.
One Twinkie at a time.
So it's 170, and that dream is slowly getting crushed too. It might start being 185, but we'll see. But to answer that question, yeah, you know what? But I feel like the States will get more opportunities, because some of the places aren't even like fully closed. Like, you'll see even like Aaron Hobson's Instagram, like he's got like a class full of like 20 people, and I'm just saying, I'm like so jealous. I'm like, come on, like
I know,
but yeah. So some people are actually training like it's nothing. So, and I've seen some of the Canadian guys getting fights and stuff, but again, some of the guys that are getting fights are in regions that are open, or that are more open than like the region that I am, York region in Toronto, where we're like fully locked down. So it's like really hard to do anything right now.
At the time of this recording, York will be officially locked down in about a little over 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Officially,
right,
officially, but it's coming.
Sorry, we're not locked out. Yeah, we're not locked down yet.
Yet. You're out in Vaughan. You said you're out in Vaughan, right?
Yeah, I'm in Vaughan. Yeah.
Okay. I'm out in the Woodbridge area, so they're going to be closed in a couple hours.
Yeah, soon. You got what time is it? You still got some of these people hitting the malls right now. It's closed at 9 p.m. So they've been hitting up Vaughan Mills for like.
Oh God, no! I'm not going there right now.
It's been packed. It's been crazy. Like, they've been doing the last minute Christmas shopping, just going after it. So.
Yeah, no, I saw that on the news earlier, and it's just like people just pushing get that last minute scripted shopping in.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. And it's people in different areas too. It's not all Vaughan people. It's
no, absolutely not. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You got the Yorkdale shopping people that from Yorkdale just coming there. But I actually saw that line. I saw it on Six Buzz. I follow Six Buzz if I want to be trendy. You know,
Six Buzz. Shout out. We need to get them as a sponsor for this podcast. Six Buzz.
If I want to feel a little trendy, a little bit like on my hipster side, I'm a little I follow Six Buzz and I stay in the latest from Six Buzz and I see what's going on there. So I saw it on the Instagram post. I don't really watch the news that much, so that's my news. Six Buzz is my news.
What is your favorite thing that you've ever seen on Six Buzz?
Oh, there's so much. It's, you know what it is, and I don't know why I do, but I love the Brampton ones. Like when with the Brampton driving's got to be some of my favorite ones because they're just ridiculous. Like some of them are just. And I'm just like the things that they think of and it's just like I'm just like, oh my God, like it's crazy. I find it hilarious. A lot of people don't. I find it outstanding when they're just driving on the other side of the road, just making that cautious, like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I'm just gonna go for it. So.
It just summarizes Brampton, honestly. As somebody who's grown up in Brampton. This is a question I usually save towards the end, but we'll ask this right now. So have you grown up in Vaughan like your whole life or?
So I came here from Albania in 2003. Okay. I did get my Canadian citizenship in 2007. So
I just lost it.
I am legal. We lived in Richmond Hill, and then we moved to Vaughan in 2005.
Okay, so you've been here like most of your tenure in Canada, you'd say. Okay, so if you have to pick the places that you've been, so we'll say Vaughan. We're going to throw in Brampton, and we're going to throw in Hamilton because those seem to be the popular ones, or maybe even St. Catharines as well. Those are 4. You have to kill one, F one, and marry one.
Which one is again? Say it again. Sorry.
So Vaughan, Brampton, Hamilton. We'll throw in St. Catharines, Niagara region as well. You have to kill one, F one, and marry one.
So it's 4 and 3. So
4 and 3. You can kill.
You can get rid of one if you want.
Yeah, you can kill Brampton if you want.
Well, Brampton's an automatic kill no matter what. Nobody won.
I think Brampton's undefeated with kills. I think they have like 15 kills right now on this podcast.
You know what? What is it? Marry. I forget how to play this game. Is it marry, kill, and what's the last one?
And F.
You have the fuck one.
You know what? I'll. Here's what I'm gonna throw a curve on you, just cause, and I'm just for the interesting. I'd fuck Vaughan. I'd marry Brampton.
Poor thing.
And then I'd kill off Niagara. I'll just say I don't need you guys. I don't need Niagara and Hamilton. They can go screw off. It's too boring anyways.
Oh boy. That's amazing. We'll deal with that. That's okay.
I wonder what that marriage to Brampton would be like.
You know what?
Honey, you're on the wrong side of the road. You're driving. Where are you going?
You know what? It'd be. I feel like if it'd be a very drunken relationship. Like Brampton would be the alcoholic for sure. Like the abusive alcoholic is Brampton. 100%.
And you'd be the sensible one.
Yes, that'd be me.
That's actually scary. Out of the two of you, you're the sensible one.
Exactly. Who knows? It might work well. It might be a failed marriage. You don't know. You never
know. Opposites attract sometimes.
That's
try it out. See what happens.
Exactly. Why would you go? I feel like Niagara would be too boring. I feel like Niagara is the one that would just be like the boring one, like just nothing fun with Niagara. You know what I mean? Just you You can go over there, Niagara. I don't need you. And then Vaughn's a hit or miss. You know what I mean? I love how I'm explaining my answers. Like I love how
you don't have to write a thesis on them, but like.
So.
But I will say though, like Niagara, it's really nice to visit. I don't know if I would live there, but like if you're out there for like a weekend, there's stuff to do, there's things to do there if you're out in like the falls area.
Yeah, but that's why I like Vaughan, because I feel like Vaughan's a happy medium. I feel like you got the Woodbridge area there. I know Woodbridge and Vaughan, but I know you got all like the Woodbridge area there. It's not too packed. You got Wonderland, you got all that stuff, but it's not too crowded. It's not too crowded. It's not too quiet. If you want to get quiet, you just go down the 400 and you're back to the quietness. So it's like, that's what I like about Vaughan. Like it's a happy medium.
It's a good spot. Yeah, no, yeah. There's a couple of good spots in Vaughan for sure. Like, where do you kind of like see like yourself? Was it more like heading more towards the MMA, or kind of more into the grappling world? Like in a normal world where things are kind of getting back to normal, is it sticking more with your grappling, or is it kind of more, hey, I'm sticking with my MMA?
You know what? And before the whole, I like to call it the Jets run I had, it was MMA, but then I was just getting frustrated with the sport a bit, with a lot of fights being turned down and all that stuff. I decided mid 2019. I also had some other stuff going on. That I'm like, you know what? Let me just focus on the big tournaments. I wanted to do the NoGi Worlds. That was something I wanted to do when I first got my purple belt. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just try it. You know what I mean? And I remember December 2018, I told Dom I wanted to do like the NoGi Worlds, like the NoGi Pan Ams and the NoGi Worlds. So he's like, I want to do it from blue belt, but then I really wanted to do it when I was a purple. So then 2019, I was slowly focusing on that. I still try to get some fights, but then like May, June-ish, I'm like, let me just try to focus on the Worlds. So I did an in-house, a versus me in-house tournament. And then I did that quintet super fight against Shaq. So it's like we did the in-house, the super fight, the Ontario Open, and World. So it was like, and it was cool because the in-house got me prepared for the super fight, which got me prepared for Ontario Opens, which got me prepared for Worlds. So it was like, so at first I didn't expect to really focus on jits, but then mid-June I decided, you know what, let me just start focusing on it, focus on the Worlds. So we started doing that. We did the super fight. We did the Ontario Opens, and a little side story on the Ontario Opens. Aaron remembers this. I remember in the finals of my division, I think it was the heavy division, it was you and Dom in the corner.
Oh yeah.
And it was a close match, and even to this day, I'll say he gave it away. He gave that match up because it was like 20 seconds left, and he was standing up and pulling guard, and I would just hear you guys screaming. I've never seen Aaron and Dom this hyped up. I just looked to the side, and Aaron's like face is red. Dom's about to have like a heart attack over there, just about to go off. And then I remember the ref gave a bad call. She didn't give a call or something, and these guys were just fuming. And I've never seen them, like, it shocked me. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? But and I remember that. But yeah, he would just keep going up and down. And I finally timed a takedown on him. Like it was the most sloppiest takedown ever. But it was enough to grab the legs, just get me the 2 points to steal. And I remember going there and Dom going like, he gifted you that match. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. I'm like, that was a dumb move on his part, but that was just a little side story. I just remember that side story. But so then the Ontario Opens, we did the super fight, we did the Ontario Opens, and then we had a good little break because I did that in-house the quintet style in-house super fight tournament. And then we had like a 2-3 months break. And then we went to Worlds, and then I ended up winning Worlds. And then after that, at first I wanted it to just stick to jits. But like, you know what? Let me see what I could, let me go back into MMA. I was gonna have a fight. I ended up having to pull out because I had a cut right on my eye. So I was supposed to fight on the prospect show. I ended up not fighting on the prospect show. And then COVID hit. So I was going to go back. But to be honest with you, I probably was going to do a hybrid of doing a couple MMA fights and then calm her down a bit, because I did want to try the ADCC trials. So my goal was probably to do one in June, one in July, and then calm her down and focus on the trials and hope for that, and then go from there. So I was actually gonna mix it up a bit. I was gonna do fights around January to June, and then focus on the big tournaments, the big jits tournaments at the end of the year, because that's probably what I would have done, like the big Ontario Open tournaments, the big local or the big international tournaments, like all those ones. I would have done those. I wouldn't have done the little tournaments. I would have just done the bigger ones. And yeah, so that's probably what it would have been if COVID didn't happen. I was just gonna mix the two together and just focus on both and see which one plays out in my favor.
I was gonna ask you about that. What how do you find it is juggling the two, between doing pro MMA and doing either local jiu-jitsu tournaments or doing NoGi worlds or anything like that? And do you find that one kind of complements the other more, or do you find you just have to you're just jumping back and forth?
So,
or what's kind of your thinking there?
Mentally though, with MMA, you really got to get, because you don't want to get hit in the face. That's the big thing with MMA. You get hit in the face, you get kneed in the face, elbowed. For the Ontario Opens and the Quartet Super Fight, I wouldn't say I wasn't taking it seriously, because I would disrespect my opponents and I would never want to do that. But mentally wise, it was different. The approach was I was way more relaxed and way more, I wouldn't say less anxious, but I was going in there like I was gonna roll. You know what I mean? Like I was gonna go to a class and roll instead of competing. And I felt that in the super fight in the Ontario Open, where I gave away some stuff. I made some cautious errors, but also it helped me a bit because I was more relaxed. I was able to think and not panic. You can't really do that with MMA. MMA, you try to be that relaxed, you could get clipped and knocked out. That's what I feel like the difference is. However, I did take my MMA approach of being more into it in Worlds, because in my mind I felt like I'm not going to slacken this. This is the Worlds. I got to make sure I got to bring my A game here. So I was preparing like I was preparing for a fight. I was in the zone. I was listening to my music. I wasn't, talking that much. I was relaxed. I feel like I'm always relaxed. I feel like ever since I fought twice in one night in an amateur MMA tournament, I've those goosebumps have left, the nervousness has left me, the anxiousness of being panicked has left me. So I don't feel that nervous, but I did have that anxiety, that anxiousness when I was doing Worlds. I was still super relaxed and calm in there. Like after matches, me and Dom were talking, we were laughing, we were cracking some jokes, but I was still mentally prepared, like I felt like I was when I get ready for a fight. It is a little different with jiu-jitsu because it's multiple matches, right? It's not one match, it's multiple matches. And then, so you got to have that point of making sure that you're still got that energy, after, a grueling match, you still got the energy to go. And I even remember after my semifinals, and it was a war, Brazilian guy, he just wants to scrap, he wants to go, palm my neck, did all that stuff, was clubbing, all like just being very aggressive, you know. And after that match, my back was hurting. I was thinking, but I even go to Dom. I'm like, hey, you think I have enough time to get an espresso? And he goes like, and you know, Dom goes like, yeah, go for it if you want. Cause they said I had 20 minutes. They bullshitted. I had like 10, not even. Like they bullshitted the time. But anyways, and I even remember like I would go in the line and I would just wait there and I'd just be like,
well, we lost Aaron, but keep going.
Yeah.
What a creonch.
Oh no, look at that.
Creonch this podcast, but keep going. We're recording, so.
And I even remember going to the line. I got people asking me like, hey, how'd you do? You know what I mean? Like, cause like they think my round was over. And I'm like, no, I'm in the finals. You know what I mean? I just need an espresso. I just need my energy up. So like you know what I mean? Like I'm very relaxed in a sense, but like I'll still have that, like making sure like, all right, we're ready to go now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So with jits, it's very hard to do that, but you still got to find a way to do it. You know what I mean? And I felt like I lacked that in my super fight in my Ontario Opens matches where I couldn't do that for Worlds. In my mind, I'm like, I'm facing guys that are like world level competition as purple belts. I can't go in there and like really, you know, give that mentality. I got to go in there like it's a fight. You know what I mean? Because they're training hard. So we made sure we prepared for it like that. And I actually had, because I was going in the Ontario Opens with the jacked up elbow because I wanted my super fight, and I thought it was smart to play around, give my elbow to Shaq, but he like cranked that, and which was my fault. And he cranked that, so I would go in there. My knee was all jacked up, and my elbow was all jacked up. So even after that, I'm like, you know, I got to make some serious changes on my strength program, and really make sure I'm taking my body more seriously, and not, you know what I mean, because I could get hurt more like that. So yeah, so it's different, but it's also the same. You know what I mean? Depends on, you know, what you're doing. The super fights are a little bit more. They're a bit more easier to control. I feel like the tournaments are much harder because you got to get your adrenaline back up. You know what I mean? And some days you have like some days you have like 10 matches. You know what I mean? So that's the thing with the difference. But competition, like getting ready for it, I'm so used to it now that it's not even I want to say it's not that hard, but it's routine now.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, what happened here? Okay, there he is.
No, I'm back. Tell me about the 2 MMA fights in the one night. It was like how'd you get prepared for something like that? Because it was tournament style, or?
Yeah, that was in 2016. It was under OGA, the very so they did that tournament back in 2016 in April. And yeah, you know what though? It's hard to say like how you prepare for it, but I just trained as hard. I did my runs, I did my rounds. I feel like the biggest thing going into it was the adrenaline dump. After a fight, you know, you get an adrenaline dump. You get like how would you react if you have an adrenaline dump before a fight? Right? Like that's something that I've always wondered that I never experienced before. How would I react into having an adrenaline dump? I actually got to experience that because I was the first match and I was also the last match.
Okay.
So I was the there you go. I was the first match. My nerves were I was ready to go. My hands were shaking a bit. And I actually have that for that was my going into my 5th and 6th amateur fight. Up to that point, my hands would always shake. Like I'd always shake before I go into a fight. But then after that night, because I got to experience the first fight, the nerves, and then the last fight, I remember my coaches in the back, like putting ice on my back, trying to, like, I just needed to wake up. And I'm like, oh man, I'm getting adrenaline dump now. I got to wake up. And then going in there, I actually didn't feel anything. Like I was ready to go. And the nerves, everything was gone. So, and then after that fight, there was no more nerves in a sense. Like there was no more like my hands weren't shaking. I wasn't really like, oh, what happens now? Even when I turned pro, and that was like a year later, a year and a half later, I had no nerves. Like I was just going in there calm as a cucumber, just, or cool as a cucumber, as they say. And I was just going there, no nerves, and everything was fine. And yeah, so it was a really great experience. I'm all for the experience in amateurs. I'm not a fan of the fact that the amateurs do fight, but they don't get rewarded after it. I understand it's for the experience, but like what changed it for me is I saw a guy, even though it was like shins, but you guys know the sock shin pads, like the little thin shin pads.
Yeah, they're not protecting that much.
I literally saw a guy get head kick knocked out with these, and I'm just like, man, this guy's getting knocked out for free. Like I understand you're building experience, but this is just at least give him something, and that's something. So like the amateurs is 50-50 for me. I'm thankful that I built up my experience, but I felt like some of the guys could get rewarded for it because they are sacrificing their bodies like the pros are, so that's the thing. But yeah, that was that 2 fights in 1 night. And what's funny is I think like 3 weeks before that, I did that in-house at your guys' gym. I think it was the first in-house.
That was at the Evo. Sorry, the Evolution place before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. and I think it was like you guys did that in March? I don't know. That was like 4 years ago.
It was a while ago, but I think that was like the one of the main events was like Adam DeFreitas versus like Greg King or something like that. I think that's one of the fights where.
Well, that was a super fight. Yeah. And then Greg King decided to do the NoGi and ended up facing Greg King in that one too. But yeah, no, and I remember doing that, and then I did the fight like right after. So yeah, no, I that's the thing. So I'm really thankful for the 2 fights in 1 night. It really helped me and prepare me and really get me like losing all the jitters and all that stuff that people usually get before a fight. I don't really have that anymore, so that's not something that I have a problem with. And I've had people ask me like, how are you so calm? And a lot of people be like, how are you so mentally strong? How are you calm? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I've been doing it for a long time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of trial and error.
It's like one of those things you just like, you calloused your mind, you calloused the feelings, and now it's just kind of what you do now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I've been competing for a long time, so it's not like it's new for me. It's not like it's my second time and I'm a freak of nature that's just doesn't care. No, I've been doing this for a long time. I've had my jitters and my fair share of nerves. It's just I've grown over. I've experienced the failures and the losses and the wins and all that stuff. So yeah, no. So it's all in all, it's that's pretty much what the whole 2 fights in 1 night really means to me. So
yeah. Do you have any kind of like dream matchups or dream fights that you kind of like set in your mind, or just kind of like take them as they go?
You know what? You always want to have dream matchups. You always want to like that. But at this point, I'm 4-0. I haven't fought in like 2 years now. At this point, it's just like fight whoever, get back into it, and start building your way up again. You know what I mean? Just start going back. You know what? Just do that. There's no point of calling this and calling that. personally, I don't care for it. We're not, and this is just my mentality. We're not at the big enough level for people to really care who you're calling out. You know what I mean? If you're put in front of me, cool. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna smack talk with you. I'm not gonna do this. It's not worth it. There's nothing to gain. What, you know what I mean? You're gonna get some promoters sharing your post on thing. Like, what is that? You know, so I'm not really a fan, you know, of the call outs at this stage in my career, because there's really no point unless you're like calling out like a former UFC fighter, someone that could get you to the next shot. Okay, cool. But if you're, you know, at this point right now, I'm 4-0, I'm 23, just put someone in front of me, you know, and if you're not gonna let me know, I'll be doing some jits while, you know, we figure all this out. So that's my mentality now. I'm not waiting for anybody or asking for this. It's just, you know what, put whoever in front of me, and if this is how we're gonna do it, this is how we're gonna do it. So
okay. So what's next for you? Like when all this dies down in 2021 and beyond, are you going to do more jiu-jitsu tournaments? Are you looking for fights? Like what's in your future?
Both. I'm definitely going to do both. I'm definitely going to want to try the ADCC trials whenever they open again or whenever they do. I'm not really following the whole tournament stuff for now, but I'm definitely going to try to set my goals on the bigger tournaments. Some bigger super fights. I know that's something that Dom and I were talking about before the whole COVID thing. Obviously, I want to go back into competing in MMA and then probably coaching as well. So I want to, you know, dabble in all that and try to juggle all that. You know, obviously try to make sure everything has its balance, but you know, I just like to be busy and just, you know, keep at it. So that's why I feel that I am perfectly okay with juggling MMA and jits, you know, but if I like fighting heavier when I do jits, but if I'm going to have to fight at a certain weight for jits so it can help my MMA, I'm okay with that too. But yeah, I'm down for whatever. I'm down as soon, like, when things start opening up again, I'm
down for whatever. Just come at me, bro.
Yeah, let me bang, bro. Let me bang.
Let me bang, bro.
Just let me bang. That's it. You know. So, you know, hey, down the road, if Ultimate Fighters in the future, just let me bang, bro. You know.
Oh man, I think we'll end it. I would love to see that.
I want to actually end with this. If Dana White, for some reason, is listening to this podcast, but let's be real, he's probably not listening to this.
He won't listen to
shit. If he's listening to this, if Dana White is listening to this podcast right now for some reason, there's probably like 9 million other podcasts that you probably listened to before this.
Click said, "Oh, what's this?
Oh, what's this? Who's this Ergys guy? Do you have a message for Dana White?"
No, not really. Nah. I'm not, you know, not really. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy to care for it. You know what I mean? It is, I'm going to say another quote now. It is what it is.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what I mean? So
it is what it is. Just let me bang, bro.
It is what it is. Just let me bang, bro. No, so, you know, like that's again, I don't really, you know, I just, for me right now, I'm at the point where I know where I stand. 2 years off. I'm not going right in, you know what I mean? I know that I got to have a couple more fights to be back in that picture that I was 2 years ago, where I was a prospect, a top prospect who's, you know, needs a couple more fights and he'll maybe get a shot at, you know what I mean? So I know right now I'm 2 years off. I need like one or two fights to get me back in that little picture again, because some of these guys are staying active and doing their thing. So for me, it's just let me bang, bro. But I mean, I wouldn't even bang. I just double jab straight to a takedown. Just That's just let me take down, bro. That's what it is.
Excellent. So we'll see you at 205 or 185, one of those two, right?
Probably. The way it's looking right now, it's not looking so nice. 170 is looking. 155 is completely shattered. It's done. It's over. It's an afterthought. It's not happening anymore. I still think I could do 170. I'll let people know when I'm 2 weeks in a diet if I could do 170, but that's pretty much where I'm at with this whole training thing. So
excellent.
Perfect. Awesome. Ergys, I want to thank you very much for jumping on tonight. It was awesome. A great conversation. And
thanks, man.
We definitely want to do this again. Either two things. You on a diet or during a Pittsburgh game, and we're actually going to do it in person. And we'll watch the Pittsburgh game as well, and we'll see how you react during that conversation.
You know what? I don't think you want – I think the cooler version of me would be me watching the Pittsburgh game. I don't think you'd want to see me on a diet. Unless you want to just go for it and see me on a diet watching a Pittsburgh Steelers game. And that's just
go all out.
Just go all out while
drinking a diet root beer.
Yeah. Drinking
zero calories. It's 0 calories.
While Aaron's at the side there, just banging out his TRT and all that banned substances.
Hey, he's in the Masters division. 30 and up is basically TRT City, basically.
That's it, man. Instead of TRT Belfort, it's TRT Aaron.
I think we need to get that hashtag trending. TRT Aaron.
That's all it is, man. Just like this. All of a sudden, Aaron's just going to be on the TRT and like Vitor Belfort. Thank you, Jesus Christ. It's like, yeah, okay, bro. That's who helped you right now. Okay. That's who it was.
His traps are like double the size.
Aaron, what happened,
it's acai and Jesus. That's what it was. It's acai. He said, well, okay, guys, I diet. I work really hard. I have acai. I have acai every morning.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Coconut water and a banana.
So when you fought Chris Weidman, what, you didn't have acai anymore? Was that illegal? That's yeah. But.
Hey, TRT Belfort was the fucking man. That guy was pretty cool to see.
TRT Belfort had to be one of the greatest middleweights to never win a championship belt.
Yeah. He might have been. Yeah. Just three like spectacular highlight reel knockouts.
The 3 KOs. It was Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold, and Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like back to back and all straight killers and Hall of Famers.
When you spinning KO Luke Rockhold after Luke Rockhold just relinquished the Strikeforce belt, after Luke Rockhold literally just beat Jacare, you're in one of the best, if not the best middleweights to never hold the belt. You know what I mean? Like that dude was just, no one expected that too. This guy came out of nowhere. Vitor was never known to throw a spinning wheel kick, and all of a sudden.
You get confidence on those drugs. You get confidence.
No, it was the acai. It was the acai.
Watch out now. We're going to see Aaron throw some spinning wheel kicks. See Aaron come in, just throw some spinning wheel kicks randomly? Like, what's happening?
Oh, that's the plan. That's the plan.
That's it.
Ergys, thanks a lot, brother.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
No problem, brother. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ergys. It's been fun, man.
Be safe, and we'll chat soon.
For sure, man. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Take
Have
care.
a good one. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody.